Okay, well, I am live. Okay, I was not sure about that. I did not know. So you saw my perversion routine, how hectic it is. Um, yeah, so, okay, perfect. So this seems to be working. So we are now live, April 30th. You can hear me now, I guess, I assume. Please give me, yeah, bingo. So, okay, let me just check a few things. Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing this automatic live thing. I'm just going to do it manually. But all is good. So how are you, everybody? So thank you for attending this live. So we do this live every single Sunday, 3 Sundays a month. This is only for my members, but 1 Sunday a month, like today, it is open to the public. So welcome everybody. So. Yes, we are going to take a look at Tesla. So Tesla is basically the stock that we are looking at, and we are using technical analysis. So we are not using fundamental news that much. We watch the news, but we don't necessarily correlate or causate the news to a price action. So the price action is the actual fact. The news are facts, but the news is only indirectly related to the movement of a stock, the stock price. So yeah, watching the news is nice. If there is a great news for Tesla, that's nice. If it's bad news, then we can think that the bad news is going to have an impact. But we only know for sure when we have a decent move in the stock, when we have not a noise movement. Stocks make a lot of noise movement, but we are basically looking at significant movement in the stock, and this is what we are looking at, and this is our fact. Our fact is, well, the stock closed at this price. This is fact, and the stock closed at that price. This is a fact, and that's the most direct fact because it's based on the stock price that we can make money or lose money. It's not on the news that we make money. It's not, we don't buy the news and sell the news. We buy the stock price. We buy the stock at a specific stock price and we sell it at another stock price, preferably higher if we go long and preferably lower if we want to go short. But basically, the stock price is everything, and nobody can predict that stock price. Who knew? Who knew in 2022 that Tesla would go from, at the time, $1,200 to $400? Nobody knew, and some people, held that stock. I don't personally hold a stock when it's in a downtrend. I wait until that downtrend is over. I don't know when the downtrend is going to be over in time. I don't predict the future, but I see it when it's out of its downward pattern, its downward trend. I see it. I see it on the stock chart. The chart is telling me. And yeah, I got my first job. I got my first job a long time ago at the Montreal Stock Exchange. This is where I learned all of this, and this is what the people on the floor are doing. They are identifying the current patterns and trends of a stock. This is what they do, and if we can do that, if we are using the same tools as they are, we have the same advantage that they have versus people that are watching news and waiting for analysts to tell them when to buy and when to sell. We can do it ourselves by doing our lines. So this is what I'm sharing with you here on this channel. So yeah, so let's start. Just before, I'm gonna say hello to my regular folks. Hello Tesla to Mars. Hello Tesla Terra. Yes, you're right about that. We are going to take a look at this. And we have David. Hello. Hello, David. Hello, Robert. Hello, DG Trades. Hello, Sunil. It's been a while, I think. And Blake. Yeah, well, I need to pick and choose my stocks. So I chose Tesla. I could do many other stocks, but I don't have all the time in the world, so I chose Tesla. So let's start. So I missed Thursday and Friday because I was on a small vacation. Um, yeah, we are going to take a look at this. So let's take a look at Tesla, what happened when I was away, and then we can continue on with the comments and questions. So basically, I will review Tesla, the daily chart, the hourly chart, and also what we do during the Sunday live is that we are looking at the weekly chart. So with technical analysis, you can decide what level of detail you want to look at, and you can trade with the weekly chart, you can trade with the daily chart, you can trade with the 5-minute chart. We trade basically here on the daily slash hourly chart, and during the weekly live on Sunday we are looking at the weekly chart just to give us a broader view of where things might be going. But we don't try to speculate, or if we speculate, we don't act on our speculation. We just wait for the speculation, or we wait for a specific stock movement, as I mentioned. So feel free to ask me any questions or comments as I'm talking, and I'm gonna stop at some point and look at them. So where are we at? Let's look at the facts. Let's just look at the facts. That's it. And the facts are telling us a lot of information. So Tesla is in a downtrend. You should know that. And I should say first that we always need to talk about the time frame we are looking at. So because the movement of a stock behaves like a fractal. A fractal, you have a pattern, and if you zoom in, you have a bunch of other patterns and so on. So the stock market is like that also. So we have different patterns intertwined together, and this is why to really reflect what is going on, we need a bunch of lines, because there are a bunch of things that are happening at the same time. So just to recap a little bit broadly, since the beginning of this year, Tesla has been in an uptrend. This is the uptrend. So if we follow this bullish channel here, the stock stayed in the channel for, let me see, for 3-4 months. So a pattern that lasts for 3-4 months is quite interesting. So it means that we can know with a reasonable degree of accuracy where the stock is going to be during the time it is in that channel. And Tesla stayed into that channel until it came out of the channel. And it came out of that channel right here. It came out, and then it did what we call here a double channel, a double support. It did a double support. It could have continued. It could have continued up like this. So we were watching it very closely. But the stock was telling us what it was doing. The stock told us, and it told us by breaking outside of this double support. It broke outside of it. It told us, no, I don't want to do that anymore. That's information there. Oh, okay. This is outside of a bullish channel. The stock is outside of a bullish channel. So the stock is getting weaker because it's not following the current bullish trend it was in at this rate approximately. It decided to come outside of it. And then when this happens, we give it a second chance. The chance that we are giving it is we are looking for the next horizontal support. So the next horizontal support was at 176. And while it was at 176, we said, okay, if it breaks 176, then we are continuing into the downtrend that the stock was in. And the downtrend the stock was in is still this one right here. And that downtrend started while we were into this uptrend. It started into it. And then we were seeing if the stock wanted to break outside of it. It did a little bit of a joke on us right here. So sometimes we get played because nothing works 100%. So sometimes we get played. But if we enter and have a stop loss not too far away, we can get out with minimal pain. That's it. And then it never really tried again before falling further and before falling below 176. Let me be precise here. 176.61. So it fell right here. So we kind of became into short mode, sell mode. And that sell mode stopped basically at 154.76. It went down to that point. So you know, that's some money to be made here on the short side. And right now, for the last 2 days that I was away, it is going up. So we had on Thursday one big green candle that basically erased the pain that happened on Wednesday for people that are long. And then we have another green candle that happened on Friday that you know, is showing that the stock is pulling back a little bit. Now as you know, since if you follow my channel, if not, you know, it's free, you can follow. We are always looking for stochastic here over 60, not any stochastic, but this stochastic, a 21-day stochastic. We are looking for this stochastic here. You can pause to take a look at that afterwards. So we are looking at this stochastic in order to see if the movement up we are seeing is valid. So right now the movement is not valid. So the movement up is not valid. To be valid, we need to have a few things happen. We need to have stochastic over 60. That needs to happen. And we always have to look at the horizontal resistance at the same time. So the next horizontal resistance we have is at 167.60. So if Tesla does not go over 167.60, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do because it is just going to be part of the congestion zone. So this is a congestion zone that Tesla is in right now. And when the stock is in a congestion zone, it can bounce from from the resistance to the support and zigzag anywhere between these two lines without the need to confirm anything from us. If it goes lower than 154.76, then that's a signal to us that, okay, this is no more random movement like it is between the two lines. This is no more random movement right here. This is a signal that the stock wants to go lower. And if it goes higher than 167.60, it means that no, it's statistically significant move that is out of the ordinary, because when you are in a congestion zone, this is an ordinary move. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to go from 174.76 to 167.60 and anywhere in between. That's the normal. That's the noise. That's the wiggle room. That's the wiggle room. It just wiggles there and it means nothing. If it goes higher or lower than this and higher than 167.60, then this is not a wiggle room anymore. This is not wiggle room. This is a significant move. That means that something is different in the market. It means that people are not just buying and selling randomly. There's a push to send the stock higher. And when we see one of these pushes, we have the choice to decide to jump on that bandwagon and just follow that wave. So we are basically like surfers. We are surfing good waves. We are not chasing every wave that we see. We need a good wave, and yeah, and this is what I'm teaching you on this channel, is to how to spot the better waves, because no wave is perfect, or they are rarely perfect, and by the time you know it's perfect, it might be gone. So it's better to hop in, or when you hop in, it's never perfect, but sometimes it's 80% there, 80% perfect, and sometimes it's 20% perfect. You can enter at 20% perfection if you want to, if you enter with a smaller amount of money just because you want to, or you can wait and enter with a more significant amount of money if you find that the wave is looks way nicer, 80% perfect, then boom, you can go there. So right now, until we break 167.60, so this part here, personally I would not do anything, and I would wait. If we break 167.60, I would wait for a stochastic over 60 to kind of corroborate that move. Boom. Yeah, that is said. If we get the two, now if we get 167.60 and if we get stochastic over 60, then it's legitimate, in my opinion, to use that as a buy signal. The problem in this case right here is that we have this double downward resistance that is very, very, very close. So even if we have this move right here, you can enter, and I might enter it next week if it happens. If you enter it here, then just watch what is going to happen when we are going to reach these two lines right here, because we could be caving in. Because, as I said, we have several patterns at play at the same time, and it just so happens that for this pattern right here, the patterns are very, very close together, so we don't have much room from the buy signal to the next significant resistance that we might encounter. So this is just the way things are. Sometimes we get a signal right here. If you look back at my videos, for January 17th, we saw that we had a congestion zone right here. We came out of it. Just a little bit later, on January 20th. We came outside of this congestion zone. Here on the 17th, we did not have stochastic over 60 yet. On the 18th, we did not have it. On the 19th, we did not have it. And then at the end of the day here, we had it. So this was our buy signal. And there were no significant resistance that were that close. So that allowed us to enter and catch a big swing, because there were not many resistance to hinder our progress. This here is not the same thing. So as I said, because we are just here at 167.60 and we have this downward resistance right here. So just know that if you are entering here, you might have to exit $10 higher. I wanted to say this. It's still money. It's still $10 per share, but it's something that you need to check a little bit more. Okay, so let me go to the 1 hour chart. We are looking at the 1 hour chart also during every single day of the week. So the 1 hour chart is giving us a more detailed view of what's happening. So here we see a little bit more detail. So we see that Tesla had been into a downward channel, and then we broke outside of it. And we have stochastic over 60, so this move here is significant. Then we have this horizontal resistance, as I mentioned, which means that we could be stuck within this congestion zone. So again, this is just the same information I'm giving you, but this is a more detailed view of the same thing. So basically, still, if we break here, that's a buy signal. Before that, it's just it could just mean that we are into this congestion zone. So I don't, on this channel, I don't tell you when to buy and when to sell, but I'm telling you when we have buy signals or decent waves. And you don't have to catch all the waves and jump on all the waves, but I'm here to spot the waves for you. Bon. Tesla Terra, I like you. I like you. I like you. I like you. Okay. So yes, maybe a nice play next week from 168 maybe to 176. So that's $8. So let me go to let me first do the weekly chart to get an idea of what are the patterns on the weekly chart. So the weekly patterns, we have looked at the daily patterns and the hourly patterns, and on the hourly patterns, this is going to be a buy signal here, and on the daily, we might not get stochastic over 60 next week because it's too short. So maybe there's no play on the daily chart, and maybe there's only a play on the hourly chart, but that's fine. We can play on the hourly chart or we can play on the daily chart. If we play on the hourly chart, we need to check the chart every hour at every candle. After every candle, we need to check the chart. If we play on the daily chart, we need to check the chart every day. So depending on the time you have, you can decide if you want to play on one or the other. Okay, so weekly. Okay, so weekly chart, this is what we have right here. So Tesla is into a downward channel. In fact, two different downward channels. We have one here, and we have one that's a little bit steeper right here. And we are pulling back we are pulling back here towards this downward resistance. And now it just happens that we are doing a congestion zone. So we are doing a congestion zone. We don't have stochastic over 60 on the weekly chart, so the move is not very strong yet. We don't see, so weekly wise, there is no bullishness in the stock yet. We don't see it yet. So and if we don't see a bullishness on the weekly chart, that means that if we see a bullishness on the daily chart, it's going to be a shorter term move in terms of days instead of a move that will be in terms of weeks. So when we have basically a good stochastic over 60 on the weekly chart, then it means that the move we see should be lasting for weeks. Right now, we cannot say that because we don't have stochastic over 60 on the weekly chart. So we don't have for a Tesla evidence for a weekly move. And just going back to the daily chart, we don't have evidence yet for a daily move. We only have evidence for a hourly move if we break, as I said, 167.60. So the only move we could be expecting this week, and I think this is the clearest way I can say it, the only move we can be expecting this week so far is an hourly move with Tesla. That's it. We cannot control the waves. We can just deal with the waves that we have in front of us. That's it. So we don't have to speculate. Is Tesla going to break 180 next week? We don't know. We just know that if it goes over 167.60, this is a significant number that we can hop on, and God knows until where it's going to bring us. As I said, and I know I'm repeating myself, but this is the way people learn. So we can get stopped, as I said, here by our double downward resistance. We can get stopped at 176. It does not mean that we will. I'm just telling you, watch out. Watch out. If it comes back around, you can take your profit. If it breaks, you stay in. You stay in and you ride that pony into the horizon. So, yeah, I'm kind of telling you a little bit about the thinking that goes on when we use technical analysis. It's a completely different thinking than watching the news and having an analyst say, well, we raise the stock price of Tesla to 225. Okay, you can raise it where you want to raise it, but first, it does not mean that it's going to happen, and two, you sure don't tell us when it's going to happen. It could be in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, or it can be next week. So these are meaningless. Nobody predicted that Tesla would be dropping from $1,200 on November 21st. Well, on November 2021, down to $400 equivalent in January of this year. Nobody said, oh yeah, it's going to go from 1,200 to 400. Nobody said that, but we on this channel saw that. Okay, oh boy, we are making higher lows. Oh shoot, this is going down. We did not know until when, but we just knew, this is bad, this is going down. That's it. We don't need to know more. We don't need to know until when. We just need to know this is the direction the clouds are going. The cloud is going in that direction. Let's hop on it. That's it. Okay, I feel like I'm ranting, but I'm just trying to share what I think. So let's go through the comments a little bit. So how do I manage tax exposure? So, well, personally, what I do is that I mainly trade with a, with the equivalent of a 401k. So that's the Canadian equivalent of a 401k. So, I can trade in, trade out. I can buy and sell any time, at any point in time, 5 times a day. Making money, losing money, whatever. I can do anything without any tax impact. So I don't have to think about that. But yes, in the US, or if you are outside of a registered retirement plan, I think this is how it's called, then you need to take that into account. So yeah, I am not a financial advisor, so I don't want to give any advice on that, but this is something that you guys need to check, of course. Hello Kwang, hello Gunmetal. Okay, yeah, stochastic, yes. So yeah, so I have to confess, I'm not is that a native English speaker? So English is my second language. So this is why I have a little bit of a accent. So stochastic, yeah, this is how I pronounce it, stochastic. But I don't know how you say it in English, stochastic. But basically, Tesla Terra answered you. So basically, this is this indicator right here, a very important indicator that is telling us if a movement is significant or not. Because as everybody knows, the stock market is making a lot of movements. If we only take a look at this part right here, and I know I talk fast too. I talk way too fast. But here, green, 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 red, red, green. And I'm just talking about the color. Red, red, green, green, red, 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 green, green. I am not even talking about where it closes. But my point here is that, see, it's almost random. It almost look random. But if you look at stochastic over 60 here, you see that from this time on, so from April 13th, the stochastic was under 60, so it meant that the stock is bearish. So stochastic knew from this point on here to this point here and this point here that the stock was bearish. So it knew here. It knew here. And what did happen? It fell. Yes, here it told us, okay, it's getting bullish. Okay, but then it turned back around. So yes, sometimes we have these little flukes or head fakes or mistakes or bad advice. And we had another one here. Boom, 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 and it fell. It did not fell too bad. And then stochastic over 60 was right here. And then look at the move. So stochastic is helping us discover when a stock movement, a random movement, a seemingly random movement hides a new wave up or a new wave down. So we are using stochastic over 60, but not only that, we are also using support lines and resistance lines to help us eliminate the false signals that we have with stochastic sometimes. And when we combine those lines with what stochastic is telling us, we increase our chance that the wave we ride on, when we decide to, is going to lead somewhere significant. It won't revert on us after 2 seconds. Okay. So stochastic is an indicator. Okay, let me just clean this up a little bit. I make a mess. Okay, so okay, there's a question right here from Jeremy. Can you show where 167.60 resistance is coming from? Yes, it's coming from this here, right here. It's coming from November 21st, 2022. Boom. So November 21st of last year. Then we had another touch December 8th of last year. Then we have a very recent touch. So March 13th. So March 13th, we had another touch here. And then look at this here. We just boom, right below it. So, you know, this line is significant. So we bounce on it and we just try to get above it and we can't. So so this is another point. So April 20th. So we have these 4 or 5 times which it was significant. And now we see that we tried to get above it on April 20th. We also tried, you know, it stopped us. It stopped us on April 21st. It stopped us on April 24th. Here we started to cave in, so we were not trying that much because we were farther away from it. And now we are coming back to it. So on Monday, it's going to be very interesting to see if we break it or not. If we don't break it, it's going to be further evidence that, you know, this line is significant. So why is this line significant? I don't know. I cannot tell you, because this line is aggregating the behavior of everybody in the world that is buying and selling Tesla stock and options and everything. This is aggregating everything that these people do. So the stock chart is such a rich amount of information. It's a rich amount of information. And when I started to look at the stock market when I was a teenager, I used to look at the stock market every single day using, on the newspaper, and I was following one stock, and I was watching, and I was looking at the newspaper every single day, and the newspaper was telling me what had happened the day before. This was the open, this was the high, this was the low, and this was the close, and this was the change. It was giving me one slice. It was giving me one candle at a time, one day late. Well, 10 hours late, let's say. That's it. It was only giving me that piece of information. So it was as if the stock market, if you look at it on the news with the stock tickers, oh, it's up $5 today, or it's down $2 today. This is basically giving you the mental model that the stock market is just a big thermometer, and the stock price is going up and sometimes it's going down, but it's not giving you the contextual information about where it has been in the past, where it is having a hard time going above a certain price. You don't have that information if you are looking only at one candle on the newspaper every single time. So it's not enough information. But here, when we look at the history of the stock, we understand a lot more information. We understand a lot more. 176.73 was a support. A support is a floor in the price. So 176.73 was a floor on December 2nd, 2020. And it was a floor right here, March 8th. So what are the odds that the stock price comes close to 176, well, here, and then recovers? So it came close 3 times. Came close to 176.73 3 times. What are the odds that this is happening? The odds are almost impossible. So I don't know why it's 176.73. I don't know what's in the mind of the institutional investors, the pension fund investors buying Tesla, the billionaires, the thousandaires, the regular people that are buying Tesla. I don't know why they thought that 176.73 was their floor price in their mind, and those people started buying in when it came to that price. I don't know, but I don't need to know. I see it here. This is the behavior. It's happening. It happened 3 times. So it's significant. And a couple of years later, 176 was important again. See, it came here and it bounced on it. But then it broke it. So something changed here. So 176 here was no longer a price floor. Okay, I'm gonna accept it. It worked here. Here it does not work anymore. So if it does not work, I won't use it anymore. And if it starts working again, I'm gonna use it anymore. It started working again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. And then it worked here. And then it worked here. But then it stopped working. So this is how we can use the context of the stock chart to our advantage, because we see the patterns that are happening. I don't know if that's clear. So that's that answer. Does it need to close above 167.60 with a stochastic over 60, or just hitting it during the day would be so? No, it needs to close. So, okay, let me just broadcast this. Okay, so on the daily chart, I don't think we are going to get stochastic over 60 this week. So on the daily chart, there's no play so far next week. So let me just go to the 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, so we should play this on the 1 hour chart next week. So on the 1 hour chart, on any chart, in order to have a break, we need to close above the resistance. So resistance is at 167.60, so we need to close. We need to close above. And if we close above here, and stochastic is really strong at 95, then only then we have the signal. And as Tesla Terra mentions, if you want to get access to all my lines that I update every single day, you can become a member on my channel. There's a specific tier where I share with you my lines here. So you can copy those lines on your TradingView account and use my lines. Yeah, so thank you for the advertising. Atlantic Salvage, yes. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's look at the monthly chart of Tesla because we are basically at the end of the month. Bon. So monthly chart wise, so you know, first I look at stochastic. So stochastic is at 20, so monthly wise, there's no bullishness. There's no bullish monthly trend for Tesla yet either. So the only move we have is an hourly move this week. I'm just going to try to get rid of this. Just hang on a second, just because this is hiding some stuff. And I'm gonna explain those bubbles. I am trying to condense my reading of the chart with those bubbles, with those circles that have different colors, so you can follow me during the week, and if you want to know more about that. So yeah, on the monthly chart, yeah, we really see this. So we are really downward. We are really into this downward trend. Yes, we might be having in May a little bit of a move up like this. So in May, it's possible that we go up to 208 with Tesla. It's possible because this is where this downward resistance is. But if we have that move, we are going to pick up that move here on the 1 hour chart first. And if it continues, we are going to also see it on the daily. And if it continues, we are also going to see it on the weekly. So we don't have to be afraid of missing it. There's no, yeah, that's another difference between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. With fundamental analysis, we can miss moves. We can miss them because people that do fundamental analysis, you know, that are listening to analysts and listening to the news and everything, you will hear on the news that Tesla is going up a week or two after it has started to go up. But here we are going to see it after 1 hour. So we are not going to miss anything. We are never going to miss anything. So yeah, so no monthly impulse move. So if we have a little bit of a move, it won't be a monthly move. As I mentioned, it could be a weekly move, it could be a daily move, but we don't have evidence for those two types of move yet. We only have evidence for a hourly move if we break 167.60. Okay, David Gallo. Yeah. Bah, I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy for you. And thank you for telling me. Why does Tesla usually sell off hard right after market open, then gradually go up higher later during the day? I've noticed this behavior happening. Yeah, well, I don't really know why. If we look at the hourly chart, if we look at the volume, I don't know why. It's people accumulating or people selling. But it does not change how we should behave. It does not change it. So I think with probably retest $100. Yeah, this is maybe I won't say this because I don't know. I'm just going to know if we break 154.76, we are heading down. If we break 167.60, we are heading up. That's all I know, and that's all I need to know. But I don't mind if you are speculating, and I sometimes speculate too. Oh, I feel like it should be doing this. But I don't act on my speculation because I'm not a voodoo, I don't have a crystal ball. Okay, Captain Teach. In Germany, it seems like your bank deducts the taxes and refunds it for losses the next day. Quite comfortable. Okay. Is there a gap to fill? The gap to fill, and people love to hear about gaps, but the gap, well, a big gap to fill is right here between 146 and 146.56 and 154.76. This is where the gap is, and we started to go into it and we just came back up. So gaps are nice. Yeah, gaps are nice. But a gap does not attract a stock down necessarily. You know, if you have a stock that starts a big move and makes a gap for that big during that big move, then if it's a big move, the chances are that it's gonna fall back down quickly or low, because if it's a big move, it means that a bunch of people are buying the price higher and higher, and this means by definition that the price will not come down just before we missed a few dollar points here. So gaps, I know I'm not too fond of gaps. What a fine and careful observer you are. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so I think we've beat Tesla to death. Hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. So that's done. So what we are going to do for the rest of the time is look at the bigger context. So the stock indices, the VIX, QQQ, and I'm also looking at gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ripple, just to look at the overall context. So this might go a little bit quicker. So okay, so QQQ going well. So you see the lines here, and for more information on these, you can subscribe on my channel, and every single week we are going through all of them too. So QQQ going higher. We were stuck here with this downward resistance, and now we broke outside of it. So you know this should be going. We have stochastic over 60 a lot. We have it at 99. So this is going up. Weekly wise, we have a great stochastic. So this is going up. We need to be careful that 338. It could be, it could be slowing down or reversing at 338, but from this point here to 338, we should be clear. Let's go to the VIX. So VIX is having a big impact on the stock market. So when the VIX is coming down, the stock market is going up. It's basically as simple as that. And the VIX has been on a tear down since March 10th. It has been going down. And if I do a proper, see here, you see there are no random moves. You see, I just use these three lines these 3 points, and I drew a line on them. And look at how perfectly it's fitting with these two here. It's just right there. It's just right there. The VIX is moving according to these patterns, and we just need to uncover them and follow them. And when it breaks them, we need to stop going into that direction and start thinking about profiting with the new direction that we are seeing. That's it. It's all there to be collected, you know. And you see that everywhere. Start drawing lines and you will be amazed at how everything fits, even years before and years ahead. We cannot see years ahead yet, but in retrospect, it fits. It's crazy, and I am the first to be amazed at how well things fit. Anyway, so VIX 15.77 down 1.25. So VIX is going down a lot. You know, it had a hard time going lower than 16.58 since December 2021. December 2021, it wanted to go lower than that. It had a hard time, and now we are below that, and we are heading to 14.86. So this is a level that we were in October of 2021. So stock market should be going up. That's it. And if we look at the weekly chart super low also. So yeah. So looking at this, we can expect that the stock market should be going long. Okay, Dow Jones. Basically, we are into this big congestion zone right here. Stochastic is great. You know, next up is 34,690. So we had a little bit of a move down right here. And if I join these two lines right here, so this is the current move up. This is the current speed of the move up that we have right now. So we were close to this. This is the support line. We were close to it, and then we started to get away from it. And when a stock goes away from a diagonal support, it's going to come back closer at some point. And it came back, and now it seems to want to continue a little bit like this. So so Dow Jones is doing great. We have a good stochastic here. If we break 34,690, then we should be going to 36,641. So so there's still a move to, you know, there's still some profit to be taken here, but if we break this, there's bigger profit to be taken here. S&P 500, wow, big move for the past 2 days. Big move. So we are outside of this move up right here, and we basically started a new one right here, a slower one, a slower move up. And maybe I should do a little bit of cleanup on that chart because it's a little bit busy. This is like gardening, you know, we need to weed out, you need to take the weeds out because it becomes a mess. So this one is a little bit of a mess, so I apologize for that. But, you know, this is rebounding really strong, the good stochastic here. Weekly chart, a very good stochastic. If we break 41.93 on SPX, for 41.93, it's going to be a significant move that comes after. Nasdaq daily. This is the one. Nasdaq daily. So yeah, great move. We need to break 12,306 to have a further significant move. Weekly chart is great too. So the move could last a number of weeks. Let's look at physical gold. Physical gold is in a big upward channel, and it's continuing between these two lines. It came close to the resistance right here, and now it's caving in a little bit, but staying not too bad. We have last stochastic here over 60 on the daily, so you know, stochastic is what is propping that chart up. So nothing is propping it up right now. So there's a little bit of a concern that it could go down because it does not have this. So, but unless we see it, you know, we see that it is, we see that it seems not to go lower than 1541. So there's no force, but it does not go lower. It has not gone lower so far. So the proof is in the pudding. So right now we are above 1541. Until we remain above 1441, even though there's no force into it, we are fine with it. But stochastic is just telling us cautious there, cautious there. So cautious means we need to check 1541. And with TradingView, and I have an affiliate link if you want to get this tool, but with TradingView you can set an alert on the trend line. This is fantastic. You can say if physical gold, this is what I'm following, the Sprott Physical Gold Trust. So physical gold, if it's crossing the horizontal ray at 1541, tell me. And then I do this, and there's a little alarm clock for the older folks that know what an alarm clock is. So TradingView is going to check this for me, and I don't need to watch it. And if it breaks that line, I'm gonna get the notification, and I can get the I can get an in-app notification, I can get a pop-up, I can get an email, I can play a sound, I can have a SMS on my watch sent. So I don't need to be there. It's gonna work for me. It's gonna work for me. So this is fantastic to have these alerts. So you know, you can do the same thing for Tesla. You can say on the 1 hour chart of Tesla, okay, I'm gonna make an alert here on the 1 hour chart. So I'm gonna choose Tesla 1 hour chart. If it crosses that horizontal raise I was in when I right clicked on it. So I say notify me if it crosses that horizontal ray once per bar close. So wait for the bar to close, because if I do this, then it's going to notify me even if the bar is not finished. The 1 hour bar is not finished, but it crossed once, I don't remember the number, 167.60, yeah. If it crosses it without the candle closed, it's going to notify me. But as I mentioned to, I don't remember whom, I want to be notified once the bar closes, because that's when the signal happens. So I do this. Let me just remove my camera here, boom. And then I have it set, and I should have the alarm clock somewhere. But so my alarm is set above 167, and then I don't have to think about it. It's going to tell me when it's time to get into that stuff. It's fantastic. So Sprott Physical Gold, Sprott Physical Gold, we just need to be careful here because it could be going down. So far it's not going down. So the reality wins before, the reality bats last. So reality so far is above 1541. An indicator is not reality. It's a distillation of reality, but reality is still the king. So until it goes below 1541, I don't have to care that much. This is just telling me, the stochastic, to be careful. Okay, sorry. Physical gold, let's look at the weekly chart. Yeah, good stochastic here. We are getting close to these two resistance, so we need to break 1579 in gold in order to shoot up higher. Silver bouncing good on 841. No stochastic on the daily, so just a little bit of a concern here. Weekly chart is good. So we had a daily movement down that's a little bit bearish, but weekly wise, we are still bullish. So, you know, the stock market is, you know, it's a bunch of waves. We have a weekly wave, and within that weekly wave, we have daily waves that can be up and down. And within the daily waves, we have hourly waves. So this is like a fractal again. So it's possible to have a weekly bullish or have some bullishness on the weekly chart and be bearish on the daily a little bit. But that should be temporary because weekly is bullish. So the higher time frame is supposed to win. Okay, then Bitcoin, we don't have stochastic over 60 yet. It came down close to 26,517. If it breaks that, then it's going lower. So far, it has not broken 26,517, even though we had the bad stochastic. So we were lucky there. We were lucky. And if we go higher, then what is the number? If we go higher than 34,434, then we should be going much higher. So we are basically in a standstill right here with Bitcoin. Weekly wise, we have a good stochastic. So we have a weekly bullishness with Bitcoin. So we should be continuing. It should continue. It does not mean that it will, but it should. Ripple, daily Ripple, no, we don't have a good stochastic here and we cannot break 47.7. Weekly wise, we barely have stochastic, so this one is iffy a little bit. So weekly wise, it's not even clear. And last but not least, the US dollar. US dollar, see, we have stochastic climbing a little bit, so force is getting back into the dollar. It's getting higher and higher. The force in it is getting higher. In terms of the effect, we have a little bit of a move up right here. So because we are making higher lows, so we could be continuing. In terms of the weekly chart, we don't have a bullishness on the weekly chart yet. Okay, so that's it. I've looked at everything I wanted to look at for this live. Let me just finish by looking at the comments. Mora, what are your expectations for the annual shareholder meeting on 5/16? Do you anticipate run up to the meeting and then sell off afterwards? I don't anticipate anything. I'll just look at it when I see it. And you are talking about the shareholder meeting 5/16. Yeah, sorry, I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that meeting. And all bets are on. And if we have a run-up, we are going to see it here. And if it's a significant run-up, we are going to break 166. So as I said, if we break 166, 167.60 on the 1 hour chart, you can get in. And if it carries through May 16th, so much the better. We don't have to, yeah, you are right, 2023. So all bets are on and nobody knows what is going to happen before that meeting and even after that meeting. Nobody knows. It's a fallacy to think that analysts know what is going to happen to the stock and at what price the stock is going to be in 2030. Nobody knows what the stock is going to be in 2030. People might have hopes. And if Tesla sell this amount of cars in 2030, the stock price should be at this level. So yeah, that's a theoretical value if everything falls into place. And if we don't have a war that is declared at that point, and if we don't have bad inflation, and if we don't have, and if Elon does not say something weird on Twitter that people are going to just get mad at him. There are so many factors. So yeah, I think that the human mind likes to have faith. That's it. The human mind likes to have faith. I have faith in Tesla. It's going to go up in 5 years. It's going to be at this point in 5 years. And we live on faith. You can live on faith. Faith did not prevent you from having Tesla at 1200 and then having it down to 400 a year later. So it's not faith that we should rely on for the stock market. We should rely on what the stock is doing. This is what we should rely on, not on faith. We don't need faith for this. So my hunch, well, the only hunch I have is, are we going to break 167? That's my hunch. If we break it, then go. If we don't, then we don't go. So Clueless NVIDIA. So I have a membership tier in which people can ask me stocks to analyze, like Palantir, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if Clueless, you are a member. If so, then I will do a separate video for all of the stocks that my members have asked me to do this weekend. I'll do one video with all of these stocks, and that video will only be shown to the members that are part of that tier. So I'm gonna take a look at it later. You're welcome. If we lose 100, okay, yes, I can answer. If we lose $100, what is going to happen? Let me just hide the volume. Okay, so yeah, 100 is, I will say personally that $100 is not that significant. What is significant is, see here in the past here, I don't know if you see it, but 111.42 is a significant support. 100, yes, it's a round number, and yes, we touched it. But I prefer to look at 111.42. And if we go lower than 111.42, we are going down to 91. So 91 is a significant support. And then after 91, it's going to be at around 68. So these are the milestone numbers that we can look at. Okay, so last comment, Pierre, are you seeing any sell signals like you did just before? That's a good question. No. Well, how can I put it? Okay, so outsider is referring to a story I told when I was in the stock market in 1999 before the dot-com crash. And this is where I became a believer in the technical analysis I was doing, because I sold everything I had a couple of days before the crash. I did not know that there was going to be a crash, but I was just, I was just seeing bullish channels getting rejected. Stocks were getting outside of their bullish channel, and then they started going sideways in a congestion zone, and then they started losing the congestion zone, and then that's it. That's a sell signal in itself. That's a sell signal. And we don't know if that sell signal is going to last for 3 years or 3 days, but we know that it's a significant turnaround, and we don't know what is going to happen. Is it going to go lower than that? So the only thing I can tell you is that yes, we are hearing many people say that we are going into a recession, and I believe we are. I don't know much about the economy, but the economist, one of the economists I am watching is someone that says that when the Fed increases interest rates, the consequence can take up to 2 years to come into play. So the interest rates were recently raised, so we have 2 years of basically uncertainty where things can take a dive. But right now, looking at the VIX going down, it's not happening yet. Looking at the Dow Jones going up, it's not happening yet. Looking at S&P 500, it's not happening yet. The Nasdaq, it's not happening yet. So I can tell you if for a Nasdaq, if we break lower than 10,231 on Nasdaq, because you can see that Nasdaq is in this big congestion zone. So if we break 10,231, then that's a major sell signal. That's major. For Dow Jones, we could be going down to 29,000 and it would still be okay because we have a lot of support here. So it could still be okay. We have been going like this. So if Dow Jones go lower than 29,890, then that's a major sell. But before all that, if we break this upward channel, if we break it, and then if we break, let's say 32,000, then we can just sell, and we are going to be way above 29,890, where it's really important to sell. We are going to sell at 32. And if it goes down to here and bounces, we can still make money on this way down. And if it goes down to here and continues, we are just going to make a metric ton of money. So I don't really think about, is the market going to crash? I don't think about that, because that's talking about an amplitude of a move. And I don't think that much about amplitude of moves. I think about, are we moving up or are we starting to move down? If we are starting to move down, that's enough to position ourselves to go short or to buy a put. It's enough to position ourselves on the way down, making money on the way down. Then if from that point on it comes down for 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 years, we have no control over that. We just have control on a significant change in direction and on hopping onto that change in direction or not. So we don't need to be scared about a recession, because we are going to see the change in direction ourselves. So thank you very much, guys, for attending this. I really appreciate it. So you can follow me every single day of the week on the Daily Trader. So we are looking at everything that we are looking today, Tesla, blah, 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 blah. It's not a live. I do a video and I post it every night at 5 o'clock approximately. And if you want to get more value, then I have different tiers. So I have a stock special request where I do a specific analysis for a specific stock that you want me to analyze. One different stock every weekend if you want to, or the same stock every weekend if you want to. So and this is not free because this is bringing you value. This is bringing you value, and I don't charge an arm and a leg, I think, and we can lose hundreds of dollars in the stock market in one day. So what I charge is just a small percentage of that loss that you might incur. So basically, if I save you money, it's worth it for you to subscribe to that tier. So I'm gonna bid you farewell. No, I'm not really on Twitter. Well, I am, but I don't have much time. I concentrate on YouTube. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm gonna wish you a great rest of the weekend. So you can join me. You can subscribe and we can talk. We can talk tomorrow. So have a great rest of the weekend, and I'm gonna tell you à la prochaine.